Oh, cool. Oh, that's really
Yeah.
neat.
It is really
Very
neat.
cool.
It's very kinesthetic.
So are there any other must-haves, or those are really your go-tos?
Those are them.
Okay. So was there any time that you chose to leave a product and switch?
Are you talking about a text or a technology?
Probably could be either, but thinking about what you would use in your Principles of Marketing course.
Well, like I said, I went through, and gave an honest try to a lot of the early things. I also worked with Pearson on a number of things, and I felt like at the time a lot of them were not helpful.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you use a learning management system?
Blackboard.
Are you required to use one?
Yep, Blackboard.
Okay. And what would you say are the most important features of that for you?
Well, I integrate my Connect stuff into it. In fact, I do not use separate logins. I have everything go through Blackboard.
Okay.
I think it's unfair to give students all that extra overhead.
So being able to have everything through the one system is really important.
Yes.
Okay. What are the most important features that you rely on, if any, outside of the learning management system?
I do a lot of videos in my lectures. I have, videos that are typically around 2 minutes, sometimes 3 minutes, that I've continued to collect and update over time, that I use to illustrate what I'm talking about and to break up the lecture. So I typically have a video every 8 minutes.
Okay.
And then each semester I reward students. I do a lot of teamwork. And so I have especially for like the game, I set up 3-person teams. And so for any person that submits a video that I use, which pretty much I use them all, I give them a couple of bonus points for them and their team members for the submission. So that means that I have a steady trickle of new videos coming in.
Okay. And so then you use them throughout the course then?
I do. Yep.
Okay. Are there any important skills you'd like your students to have prior to entering your course? That's a loaded question.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Could they write? Could they know Excel? Let me think. What else? Could they understand businesses? Yeah, never mind. I actually teach a senior class, business-to-business marketing, and I'm shocked that by the time they get to their last semester, they still don't know what a business organizational chart looks like.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
So you mentioned that you use videos and the simulations in your class. What are the other ways you engage your students to learn the material?
Well, I have about a half a dozen little activities that I can pull from. Depends on how things are going. Like, for example, last semester, there was some problems with Connect because the bookstore had purchased one version, and so anybody that went into the bookstore had the login for that edition, but I thought, and we had all discussed, that we were going to change to the 13th because there was not a lot of changes between the 12th and the 13th, and there was a lot of miscommunication, and so there was this whole period of time where I had to use my McGraw person to kind of manually convert non-matching addition logins to correct logins. So we got a little behind in the beginning of the semester in my agenda. So I didn't do as many of my activities, but I have about a half a dozen. One, some of them are from early on. I think you're still using one of them is Build a Candy Bar. I like that one. Okay. I have a couple of others that I've used. The game itself, since we use it throughout the whole semester, I occasionally have an activity around that. They are supposed to keep. They are supposed to kind of discuss it on a regular basis, meet, and then at the end they write up a report. So I do things during the semester to make sure they're not falling behind in that. It's with 120 students, the smaller class, when I was teaching the smaller size class, we did like a marketing plan, or sometimes there was a period of time when I had businesses coming in that we would do a little mini marketing plan for. I really like doing that, but once you get over 45 students, it starts becoming really difficult to do that level of stuff, because that would require in-class presentations. And in fact, they used me to try the first, what they called jumbo class. It was 290 students. Wow. And I did have it, that first semester I had a TA, and we tried to do actual presentations where we had the students record them and we reviewed them. And we had 5-person teams, and it was still 60 teams. And we finally, after that semester, I almost killed us. And I said, we're not doing that anymore. I have to have to be doing other things.
Right. So you mentioned that you use about 18 chapters of content that they have to get through, and that there are quizzes. What's the overall structure of your course aside from that? What other tasks are they required to do throughout the semester?
Well, it's pretty much what I told you. 600 points for quizzes, online quizzes and exams. Okay. 3 exams, 100 points apiece. The final is 200, and 100 points goes to online quizzes. Okay. That the course, they must get 62.5% cumulatively by the end of the semester out of those 600 points, or they don't pass the class no matter if they have a passing grade.
Okay.
I do about 170 points is Learn Smart. The playing of the game is 40 points. The report is 200 points. And then I've got, like I said, these little in-class activities that I have some points set aside for.
Okay. That's a lot. So a class session, you said, what is that? So the question is, what does a class session look like for you?
So I teach on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I never teach any other days because I run a company, and so I'm a lecturer, and I only teach one. And if I'm really crazy, like last semester, I'll teach 2 classes because I really love the B2B class. But I start off, with kind of a little high-level agenda, but it's in the beginning of the semester, I do a chapter a day. So that's 2 chapters a week. And then as I'm starting to get through, that's a pretty heavy load. And then as I'm getting close to the middle, I've started the game. We do about 9 weeks, 9 to 10. I think I've done as many as 11. Depends on how organized everything is and how easy the logins are and all that kind of stuff. this year we had some problems with the logins on that. So